Welcome to the first episode of Relax and Chat. Our guest today is Rod Gilley. He's a writer of horror, thriller, and fantasy stories. Well, the opening shot there was me doing my first effort at an outside shoot with a selfie stick. Okay, it was my tripod. I'm holding it up in the air. So let me know in the comments, should I ever do that again or keep the tripod on the floor and do my shoots indoors? Now on with the interview. Today is Rod Gilley, a horror, thriller, and fantasy writer. Hello, Mr. Gilley. How are you doing today? Oh, I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be a guest on the show. I even shaved, put on a fresh, clean shirt. Looking good, huh? But yeah, I'm very happy to be here and doing well. Okay, our first question, just for the audience, I'm going to do some quick definitions. A pantser is a writer who writes by the seat of his pants. Literally just pulls up a page and starts going. A plotter is someone who writes an outline for their story, start to finish. And then they actually write the story pretty much going along with the outline. They can vary some, but they do follow their outline most of the time. So, Mr. Gilley, which are you and why? Oh, I'm definitely a pantser. I love just letting my story go. Like as I'm typing any given paragraph, I have no idea what the next paragraph is going to be. And for me, that's a lot of fun. I like to think of it sort of as art, as in doing a painting. You have a big 4x8 canvas, or you have a little paint by number set. And for me, that's the difference between being a pantser and just letting your writing go, or being a plotter and having to follow your outline. It's like paint by numbers. I love to just let it go wild and let the story go wherever it wants to. So I'm definitely a pantser. All right, our second question for the day is, how do you balance the responsibilities of your day-to-day life with the demands of writing? Oh, I definitely have trouble in that area. I've tried every calendar and program I can think of. My day-to-day responsibilities, my day job and finances and all of those things are in constant conflict with my desire to do creative things like YouTube videos and especially writing my stories. So those things are always in conflict. A little while back, I did a video that was to commemorate the first full year of my being a writer. And I can't believe I said something profound. Ooh. But it really was kind of profound, and that is, life happens. Because by golly, it does. I mean, I try so hard to say one evening or the other, tonight I'm going to do 1,000 words in Cain, or at least 500 words in Wicked. And something will come up, I got to deal with it, and there you go. So, yeah, I'm constantly in a battle with balancing my responsibilities of day-to-day life with trying to do my creative work, especially my writing. They're in constant conflict. Okay, and our next question is, which of all your stories, your novella and your novel, which story was your favorite of them all? What do you like of everything you've written to date? Which is your favorite and why? Oh, I'd have to say Cain is my favorite work that I've done so far. It's a work in progress, and it's a novel, and believe it or not, it was my very first effort about a year ago when I decided to be a writer. And the reason that became what I would say by far is my favorite project is because it was so hard. There's a lot going on in that novel. It's a multi-POV, and there's a lot of action. It's a paranormal thriller, which is one of my favorite genres. And I think it's a great book, but I will say Cain is my favorite. That's the story. I can't wait to get it done. And our fourth question is, of all the stories you've written, any one scene, which was the hardest scene that you ever wrote? Well, it's actually pretty hard to give you a direct answer to that question because in Cain, I'm sure the answer is in Cain, there were at least 3 scenes that were brutal that I really struggled with. As a matter of fact, I don't think I would have completed the first draft and finished writing the story if I hadn't known an exceptional sci-fi writer named T.S. Hoddle. I would send him a text and say, "Oh, I'm really, really in a mess," and he would give me words of encouragement. Sometimes those words went something like this: "Stop whining and write the book," which actually was exactly what I needed to hear at the time. Another author helped me get through those tough scenes was, believe it or not, Stephen King. I remember seeing a clip where he was talking about how many rejection slips he got, and he said, "Get a bigger nail," which was brilliant, really, really good thing. So I'm writing a scene in Cain, and it's going along, and next thing you know, I wrote myself right into a corner. I had nowhere to go. I'm backed up into this corner. And the thought of Stephen King and his bigger nail popped into my head, and however it works in the creative mind is I just had the thought pop in right then. It said, "Okay, you wrote yourself into a corner. Knock a hole in the wall and keep going." So that's what I did, and I got through that scene. So thanks very much to those 2 great writers. That's why I finished the first draft. And our final question is, out of all the scenes, of all the stories you've written, which was the most fun to write? What did you enjoy writing the most? Well, I'd have to say my favorite scene that I've ever written in any story would have to be the climax scene in Cain. I'm so proud of it. It's a multi-POV scene, which is hard enough to write. It was brutal. It took a long while to write it, but man, it turned out so great. My wife actually fell back on the bed cheering, and even I may have let out 1 or 2 woohoos. The climax in that story is awesome, and when that book is released, buy yourself a copy of it, read the climax, and yeah, you'll want to get in touch with me and tell me that scene rocks, because it does. I think it's awesome. All right, those are the 5 questions that we will ask any writer on the show. And so we're done with the questions. So Mr. Gilley, if you like, you can tell us a little bit about a couple of your works. We'll put some pictures up and some links in the descriptions. Well, as far as a link to a story, the best thing I can offer to the audience, down in the description, we'll put a link to my gallery of works on my website. It's pretty cool. It looks really awesome. And when you click on it, you'll see a presentation of both of my works in progress, Cain and Wicked in a Thicket. And then you'll see several of my short stories and even a couple of poems. And you just click on any one of them. And like Cain, for example, when you click on it, it'll go to a short blurb that'll tell you about the novel. And then if you click on one of the short stories, it actually goes to a page that has the whole story right there, and you can read it and enjoy it. Don't forget to take a look at the last slide at the end of this video. There you'll find an email address and my Twitter address where you can contact me and let me know if you'd like to do the show, be a guest on here. We'll do our best to make it fun, short, sweet, a good experience for all. And then for the audience, please let me know anything that you want to say in the comments about good, bad, or otherwise. And I'll certainly keep trying to put out the best videos that I can. Okay, we've reached the end of episode 1. I hope you enjoyed the show and look forward to episode 2. And we'll certainly have another writer on the show. And again, let me know in the comments if this interviewing myself worked or was completely crazy. Let me know what you think. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you.